it'll probably be as surprising to any of you that not only is one of the coolest cars of the year made by Ford, a company which has certainly had its travails this year, particularly in the Irish market, but it's also a pickup truck. It's actually a Ford Ranger, which is one of the most ubiquitous one-ton payload pickup trucks around, used by hardworking people and farmers and anybody else who needs to carry heavy loads up and down the country. But of course, this is no ordinary Ranger. This is the Ranger Raptor. Now, Raptor might need a bit of explanation. Yes, it's a dinosaur from Jurassic Park. But aside from that, Ford in the US makes a Raptor high-performance version of its big F-150 pickup truck, which basically uses the same 3.5-litre turbocharged V6 engine as you'd find in the incredible GT supercar. We don't get that because it would be too big, too thirsty, and too expensive for our market. What we do get, though, is this, the Ranger Raptor, which is a Raptorized Ranger, fairly obviously. So you do get this more high-quality interior with really cool, nice bucket seats and some nicer trim. And you get part digital dials, and you get an automatic gearbox. It's actually a 10-speed gearbox. It comes from the Mustang, effectively. You get the bigger Ford Sync infotainment touchscreen. You get switchable four-wheel drive, and you also get switchable modes. You can flick from normal through to track modes and off-road modes, and Baja mode, named for the famous Baja 1000 off-road race in California, which is seriously hardcore. And that should give you a clue as to what this car is actually like. It's not a car at all. It is a truck in the greatest and most definite sense of the word. This is where it excels. It is so staggeringly good off-road. That pumped-up bodywork, the extra ground clearance, the incredible suspension with the huge, sturdy dampers made by a company called Fox Motorsports, which makes the suspension for off-road racing vehicles. It just soaks up whatever you want to throw at it. It doesn't actually have very big wheels in spite of the big wheel arches. They're just 17 inches, but they're wrapped in enormous BF Goodrich off-roading tyres. And just nothing that this car won't get through, around, or over. It is staggeringly capable. As you can see from what we're doing here in the video, there's just nothing that seems to phase it or stop it. It never seems to run out of grip. It never scrabbles around with the traction control, desperately trying to figure out where to send the power. I'm doing this driving wearing jeans and sneakers and a reasonably nice shirt. I've not come at this wearing clothes for outdoor work. I haven't even brought wellies with me, and yet the Ranger Raptor just plows through whatever you want it to do, and for that alone, I absolutely love it. I also love the way it looks. I mean, I possibly shouldn't. Maybe a big, heavy diesel pickup truck isn't very zeitgeisty these days, but hey, at least it's going to be lower in CO2 emissions than the US market Raptor with its petrol engine. We can kind of say that for it, can't we? Funnily enough, it's pretty good on-road too. I mean, it is a very big, very heavy, very wide, very long vehicle. There's no question about any of that. And in town, you're probably going to find it a bit unwieldy at times. But actually out on the open road, it is surprisingly comfortable and surprisingly smooth. It's not even all that noisy inside the cabin. Ford has obviously made a bit of an effort with putting in some extra sound deadening equipment because it actually is a long-haul kind of vehicle. It's pretty nice. Now, the only thing to take note of is that it uses a 2-litre twin-turbo diesel engine, which is fine, and it's got punchy performance, and it's got plenty of torque, and that 10-speed gearbox does make the most of what it has. But actually, it's not that fast in a straight line. Actually, it'll get undone by the standard V6 versions of, say, a Volkswagen Amarok or a Mercedes X-Class. But then that's not the point, because the point is not that this car goes quickly on tarmac. The point is that it goes just as quickly when you're doing this. I mean, with those big, long travel suspension that's under this car, you can just drive over anything at more or less any speed you fancy, and that's the real delight of it. That's the real joy of it. It is a car so spectacularly over-engineered that you just know whatever happens with the weather, whatever happens with the road surface, whatever happens with... I mean, if you get stuck in traffic, you can just cut across fields. I mean, I wouldn't recommend that, obviously, because that's getting onto people's private property. But theoretically, you could, and that's all part of the appeal. Just like wearing a diver's watch that can survive going down to 1,000 feet underwater, even though you never go any deeper than the deep end of your local swimming pool. This is the point of the Ranger Raptor. It's having that over-engineering, having that excess capability. And let's face it, having the cool looks, the cool name, the cool styling, the cool wheels, the massive grille, the Ford Performance paintwork. Absolutely love it. For more on the Raptor and every other car and pickup on the market, don't forget to head over to CompleteCar.ie.